Hi, my name is Tony Kovatch, and I'm the artist in residence here at Liberty Bellows in Philadelphia. I want to welcome you back to this free course of instructional videos for the piano accordion, which is meant to complement any in-store or Skype lessons. In the past two lessons, we discussed playing songs that use one chord and two chord accompaniments in the key of C major. Today we're going to move a little bit further and learn the song When the Saints Go Marching In, which uses three chords in the left hand. We're also going to discuss different ways you can play notes in the right hand, such as playing staccato, legato, or playing in our normal detached articulation. First, let's begin by doing a short warm-up that uses a 5-finger scale. Our exercise begins on C, so let's see if we can find all of the C's on our keyboard. In the past, we talked about how when you find two black keys together, your C is going to be the note directly beneath. So I have a C here, I also have a C right here, and on this accordion I also have a C at the top. In our last episode, I was using this C as my starting pitch. The reason I chose this C is that my instrument has a very low sound, and I preferred this as my starting pitch. Whereas I could also start on this C down here, although it's going to have a much lower sound. The starting pitch that you choose has a lot to do with the register that your accordion is playing in, and has a lot to do with personal preference. So once you choose your starting pitch, you're going to put your thumb parallel to the C, and you're going to lay your second, third, fourth, and fifth fingers, one finger on each white key right above the starting pitch. If you are doing that, you can play a 5-finger scale very easily by moving one finger at a time, just like this. There are a few different ways that we can play melodies in the right hand. One of them is called staccato. That means that you're going to play very short notes. It's going to sound like this. Another way is to play legato, which means that you let all of the notes run seamlessly into each other, like this. Those are the two extremes. Most of the time you're going to play somewhere in the middle. So let's try all three of those articulations. Here is the staccato. And now legato. And then let's try detached. Now let's move on to our song for the day, When the Saints Go Marching In. Notice when I'm playing the melody, if I'm in my 5-finger melody position, I don't need to shift anywhere around the keyboard. The song is split into two phrases. During the first phrase, you're going to hold the last note of each section for 3 counts, just like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. During the second phrase, the fun feature is that we get to use our pinky playing the G 3 times in a row. So let's try the full melody together. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you may notice that the 3 most common notes in the song are C, played by your thumb, E, which is played by your middle finger, and G, which is played by your pinky. That's because those 3 notes make up a C major chord. And a lot of the song highlights the C major chord. we're going to add that C major chord to the very end of the song. So it will sound like this at the end of the second phrase. Now your chord. So let's quickly review our C and our G rows on the left-hand side. Your C bass button is always marked with either a rhinestone or an indent, and right behind that is your C major chord. Right above the C row is the G row. You have your G bass button right above the C bass button, and behind that is your G major chord. The F row is similar to the G row because it's right next to the C row, but instead of being above the C row, it's beneath the C row. So find your rhinestone or your indent, and then you're going to go down towards the floor to find your F row. The chords in the left hand for the first phrase of the song are pretty simple. You're going to play a C chord until you get to the very last note of the phrase, and then you switch to a G chord. So I'll demonstrate that for you. Now switch. The second phrase is going to be 4 beats of C, then 4 beats of F, and then we finish up with 2 Cs, 2 Gs, and 2 Cs. And then we're going to play our chord. So the whole bass side progression is going to sound like this. C, keep playing C. Now we switch to G, back to C, to F, back to C, now G, now C, and then our chord with C. Notice that I'm keeping my left-hand chords very short. That helps me conserve the air in the bellows. If I'm playing like this, I'm going to use up my bellows a lot more quickly. In previous lessons, we discussed how we can play a more interesting accompaniment by alternating our bass and our chord buttons, like this. Let's try playing the same progression using that pattern. Finally, as a way to recap, let's add in some of our articulations that we worked on today. Let's try playing the first phrase staccato, like this. And we'll play the second phrase legato, like this. Let's give it a try. Staccato. Legato. Chord. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our next lesson, which will focus on melodies that go beyond the range of the 5-finger scale.